Hello, we are live. This is, of course, the Got Consent podcast show. I'm your host, Mark Reinhardt.
I'm Ross Givens.
And Adam Heyman.
We are expecting a show host. We're expecting...
interview, actually.
Okay, sorry.
State Senate candidate was District 18?
District 18, if I got the district right. Lucas Baumbach. We're expecting to have him on here shortly. And until such time...
You did give him the call number, right?
Yeah, I did. I gave him all the server information.
Excellent.
So with that, we're going to talk a little bit until I see him up on the switchboard.
Or anyone else. Go ahead and give out the number for anyone who happens to listen right now.
Okay, for anyone who wants to call in, our number is 1-347-677-0644. That, once again, that's 1-347-677-0644.
Okay.
Until such time as Lucas can call in, we'll do our show.
Yeah.
Is this the guy?
Yes.
He's younger than I am.
Well, that would explain some things. Let's take a look down here.
That's just disgusting.
I've got you in class at one point in time.
Anyways.
Yeah, anyways, so...
Basically, Lucas Baumbach is a small business owner. He's running on a platform, I think, of growing small business.
Yeah.
And...
Okay, good. His rules. Don't spend more than you have. Smaller government is better government. People create jobs, not government. This is from his website.
Yeah. How much of that will actually continue to be true, that we can't say. And of course, he's only one man, so he may just fail.
And Lucas's jobs legislation: fair tax, drop income tax, putting Idaho in top 10 best, in USA not 13th worst. Drop yearly property tax on machinery, leads to more manufacturing jobs. Immigration bill HO 497, he says, would lead to 15 to 20,000 jobs. And Silver Gem Act, 1,000 to 2,000 silver mining and refining jobs.
Oh, okay. That might be interesting, quite frankly. I'd love to at least see how those things work.
Yeah, when he gets on, I want to find out what the Silver Gem Act and what the immigration bill are.
Okay. Well, you have the immigration bill as well?
Yeah, number 3, immigration bill HO 497.
That'd be the Arizona one, probably.
Okay.
Well, it seems the obvious one. We know it's being pushed forward in the House right now.
Since it's got a net number to it and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually being pushed forward by a northern Idaho state legislature.
Oh, well, that makes a lot of sense.
Coeur d'Alene.
Well, still. We were just talking about a lot of different things before the show started, and we were talking some bit about the white supremacists that wanted to make the Pacific Northwest their new homeland. And I commented anyways, that the people that weren't being pushed out by us now, more or less went north.
Yeah, and then when they cause trouble there, the reason that they flourish in Idaho is Idaho is full of people who believe
And leaving everyone else
do as you will on your own land so long as you're not hurting anyone else.
Yeah.
And as long as they keep that crap on their own land, it's their business. They can do what they want.
Yeah.
Right.
And when they set foot off their land and cause trouble,
Well, they shoot a black woman on the street.
which is why they lost their compound,
Oh yeah, that was great, wasn't it?
that was a good day.
Yeah.
Oh, such a wonderful day what it was.
Yeah.
Yep.
What she been doing with the compound?
She sold off whatever she could. Well, since it's largely predated eBay, she sold off the handful of things that she found useful, like vehicles or just furniture stuff.
Wow, you got the vehicles and the furniture?
Yep.
Wow.
And anything that was left over, she donated to the fire department to let them burn it down and to practice putting out fires.
Oh, cool.
Not to mention, probably made for a nice hefty tax write-off that year.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Yeah.
But that was...
She did well for a little while.
I'm pretty sure that was farthest from her mind in the thought, at least the tax benefit. That's just icing on the cake.
Right.
I think I probably would have had him cleaned up really well and then refurbished his apartment complexes.
Right.
For minorities, primarily.
He's on.
Excellent.
With us on the program is Lucas Baumbach, State Senate candidate for the Idaho State Legislature. Hello, Lucas. Welcome to the Got Consent podcast show.
Hey.
Yes, I can hear you, Lucas. You are also with my fellow show hosts, Ross Gibbons and
Hello.
Adam Heyman.
Hello.
So we have a couple questions for you if you're still there.
Are you still here?
All right.
Okay. Can you hear us?
I can hear Mark and Ron. Adam or Chris there?
Well, Chris isn't here. He's at class right now. Adam's kind of quiet right now.
Okay. Adam, I believe you had a question about business growth and economics that you had for Mr. Baumbach.
Yes. A few years ago, Governor Kempthorne had proposed legislation to cut taxes to a ridiculous degree for any big companies that would come into the state and provide at least 500 jobs paying $50,000 a year or more with full benefits, hiring existing Idahoans. And that kind of got killed. I'd love to see something like that come about again. What's your thought on it?
Well, I'm not familiar with that particular Kempthorne bill, but I'm assuming it would be something similar to the corporate income tax. If not, either that or it was just a special offer only for bigger companies. I don't know that I would like to see that. I'm more into equality, and if you're going to talk about policies that help businesses, I'm probably all businesses, whether it's large corporations or small corporations. So what I'd like to see is I'd like to see us compete with other states in the corporate income tax category. I know I have a few supporters that are small corporations, and they're tired of paying high corporate income tax rates. We need to be somewhere closer to 5%. I believe we're around 8% right now, and we may even want to bring it lower than 5%. I know some people want to get rid of it entirely, and there's arguments to be made in that regard as well. But no, I don't favor giving just Micron tax benefits. I think Micron is great, but there are other industries as well that bring in money, and we need to focus on bringing money into Idaho. Wealth and wealth creation can be come from companies that are in markets other than technology. We need to focus on all markets equally. That's why one of the greatest roles, according to Rousseau, one of the greatest roles of the legislators is focus on both equality and liberty. We need to make sure that we have a level playing field for everybody, small and large.
Oh, so you're talking about, you say Rousseau, you mean Jean-Jacques Rousseau?
Again,
When you're talking about Rousseau, you're talking about Jean-Jacques Rousseau, right? Writer of Emile? Yeah. Philosopher, yeah. I wish I remember exactly my critique of that guy was. But I do have a quick question about this flat tax initiative you have here. I understand you want to get rid of the income tax, which I agree heavily for, as I see it as more or less stating that you should be happy with what they leave you. But there's one of the major critiques for the flat tax is that it ends up harming the poor more than does the rich. Can you expound about why that's not necessarily the truth, or why it's better than what we have currently?
well, there's the argument out there is that sales tax is a regressive tax, and that income tax is a progressive tax, and I mean people don't really care whether it's regressive or progressive. When you go and you tell the worker, you go and tell them that they're going to save money on their paycheck, and we're going to stop taking money out of their paycheck for income tax, they see the immediate benefit of that. And we already pay sales tax. To increase the sales tax, and with a fair tax, you increase the sales tax by 2%, but you eliminate an 8% income tax. When that makes sense to people, they're able to keep 8% more of their yearly income because it's not going to the Idaho State Tax Commission. And I'm not talking about a federal fair tax. That's beyond the state's power to control. But a statewide fair tax would get rid of. You keep 8% more of your paycheck, and you would have to pay 2% more when you pay for whatever when you go buy a boat or when you go buy
when you go buy food.
So I think people realize the immediate benefit that yeah, the poor don't have to. The poor are actually the ones who are least likely to pay a sales tax because they consume less. They don't just don't have the buying power, and the rich they end up paying more per capita because they like to buy boats.
Well, one of the major critiques about that, around the whole poor being affected more than the regressive tax, is that they had to spend more of their income on items like food and clothing and gas and a number of other things as well that come to mind.
As one of those people in the poor income bracket that would be actually negatively affected by a flat tax, what would be, I mean, there had been proposals in the past to do something like Washington did of no sales tax on those things that are vitally necessary to survive, like food.
Food, clothing, electricity probably as well nowadays.
What would be your thoughts on something like that?
Well, it's very popular. We haven't got this done. We do it. We do things a little differently here in Idaho. We like to give rebates, and we like to give these little tax credits. Like we have a grocery tax credit. I think it's $50. Well, that's supposed to offset the grocery, the sales tax you pay on groceries. There are popular. It's a popular movement right now to get rid of sales tax on groceries in other words, to provide another exemption for certain types of groceries. However, I don't know that the grocers are particularly excited about that because then we have to decide, well, are potato chips a grocery? Are they a staple? And where do we draw the line? Are we just going to do it on rice and beans and bread and milk, or are we going to do it on other things as well? So that's when you start picking out which items you want to have the exemption for, that's where it gets very sticky very quickly and people just back off of it. So I don't think that you're going to see a grocery tax exemption because it does get so messy so quickly.
I got a question for you, Lucas. A lot of people that I have encountered in my talks around the city of Boise, this involves the housing crisis and the financial crisis in general. When they lose their homes and they're trying to find a way to get into work so that they can get back into a house or something like that, there's a lot of postal address requirements. I know this is a federal thing, but what kind of, a lot of thoughts on deregulation seem to be a good idea. What would you say about working, say, with the federal delegation in deregulating the postal address requirements for the U.S. Post Office?
Well, I favor making life easier for people and getting the government off of people's back. If we need to allow people to, I think most people need jobs. Just because you don't have a postal address, I think it would be ridiculous for somebody to deny you a job on that basis. If that's where we are in our country, that a homeless person can't even get a job because of government regulations, we're in sad shape. And I totally agree. When the law gets in the way, it needs to be repealed. And it looks like unfortunately we're in the shape that we are today, where we have more people losing their homes. But luckily they're able to move in with family members, and you have more people living with family members in not necessarily the most comfortable setting, but we've been sort of independent for so long, and I think there might be another side to that as well. That family is kind of the safety net that it hasn't been in a while.
Oh, sorry, Lucas.
Sorry about that. You still there?
Still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. I'm reading something that Adam has in front of me, and